All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are finally getting to the title championship day one tournament overview. It's been a long time. It's been a month and a half. This is obviously not a timely video, but the reason for that is because I just got back from Alaska, and in the week between when I fished the championship and before I left for Alaska, we were moving out of our house, which is the reason why I'm in a fifth wheel right now. This is our house for the at least the next couple years. Because we're moving onto our property, we're going to be building a house and so on and so forth. But been gone from Tennessee for about a month now. Went to Alaska for my 16th season at the Baranof Windlass Lodge, and just got back 2 days ago. So didn't have any internet up there except for when we're out on the water. We've got a little cell phone tower that we can get a little bit of reception, but didn't have the time or the web connection at the lodge to be able to actually do these videos. So just now getting to them. So if you've been waiting for these, I apologize for the delay, but that's the reason why. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Day one was a really, really fun day. Found some fish on the fly, so we're going to get into it right now. All right, guys, so here we are, La Crosse, Wisconsin, the Mississippi River, pools 7, 8, and 9. For the title championship, we could fish any of the three pools, and I got to practice 8 and 9 and really liked 9. That was the one that I was most interested in. It was the furthest from our launch in La Crosse, but I felt like I had the best opportunity to catch numbers of fish, and I was getting very few bites in 8. So ended up starting in 9, which was the kind of the key to my whole program that week. And so we had to lock through all week long. I've got to give a big shout out to the team that was working at the locks there, the lock masters. They did an awesome job, got me through very, very quickly. My starting location for day one was one big long slough that I was pretty impressed with, but I fished that entire slough, just pitching at any type of wood, casting around a jackhammer chatterbait, flipping that palmetto bugs. Didn't really do any damage there, but there was this one small sand drop at the end that I really had a lot of confidence in, and that's where I started getting some bites. But it took about an hour to get back there, so I wasted a lot of time, never caught a keeper until I finally got to the sand drop in the back. And essentially what it is a small slough that was coming off of the main river channel, or rather dumping into the main river channel, and created a small little sand drop that went from about 1 foot, barely enough to get your boat over, and then dropped into 4 to 6 foot. And so you had this nice cut bank, but those fish were right on that sand drop. And that's exactly what I'm fishing right here with the jackhammer chatterbait, and also a little bit later on a shaky head. All right, they're here. Smallmouth. First smallmouth I caught here. Come on, baby. Whoa, that's a keeper. I tell you, man, fish this whole slough, and there we go, keeper number 1. We'll just double check, but I'm 100%, yeah. All right, so on that jackhammer, man, there's that little sand drop. It's just, you got this creek right here, comes out really, really shallow, boom, 4 foot. That's exactly what we're looking for. That's the kind of stuff that these fish gang up on. One of my better fish came off of this thing the other day. All right, let's do that again. After making a few casts with the jackhammer, I had a white and chartreuse half-ounce jackhammer with a pearl-colored diesel minnows on there. And after throwing that around a little bit, had that one keeper, had a few bumps. The reason I ended up switching here is because I was upstream. So normally you want to cast up current and bring your bait down current, but because I didn't want to go over that sand drop and spook those fish, I decided to do something a little bit different. Got out a shaky head, and so I got the shaky head rod out, 3/16 ounce shaky heads from Z-Man, the jig head, and then put a Zinkers on there, a Bama bug colored Zinkers. So that's the reason why I switched to the shaky head so early. That's a decent one. It's not giant, but that's one of the healthiest fish I've seen all week. Shaky heads with the Zinkers, making that switch. That's awesome. That's why you got to be really super observant right now with the low water conditions. You got to pay attention to all those little nuanced drops and things that you find along the way. If you have a creek or a backwater pouring into a slough, pay attention to those little tiny drops. Even though it may be just sand, it can be really productive. And I promise you, I can sit here and catch. There's a limit right here, right in front of us. Come on. Yep. Not as big as I thought, but caught him right in the cheek. Number 3. We went from 0 to not quite hero, but we're doing a lot better than we were. After picking off a few fish from upstream of the sand drop, I finally decided to go over the sand drop and let those fish rest a little bit so I could turn around and cast upstream, bringing the bait downstream. So once I end up picking out this backlash I just made, I should be able to start catching some more fish. That's a keeper. Man, you just have to be patient here. It's just not fast and furious. It's actually a 15-incher. Golly. Oh, smallmouth. Of course it's a smallmouth. That's a long, long smallmouth. Oh man. 12-pound test of Brazex. Going through that wood. Number 5. Number 5. We got a limit. All right, I might make one more cast, 1 or 2 more casts, see if I can catch a bigger one, but other than that, we're out of here. We are out of here. After I caught my 5th fish on that first sand drop in that slough, I decided to just go ahead and leave. I didn't want to beat up on those fish if I needed them for another day. So I ended up leaving, and there was one area in particular that I really thought had a lot of potential, but I knew that it would be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to get into. And here I am trying to work my way to that area, that big backwater bay that I was really interested in. But right now I'm looking at it, realizing that I cannot get up that slough. It's probably about 4 inches deep at the deepest point. You know, I could see the sand out of the water in most places. And if it was a straight shot, I might be able to coast, you know, get up enough speed to kind of coast over it. But because it was kind of like a 90-degree turn to get back in there, it just wasn't going to be possible. So ended up deciding, instead of just leaving right away, and this is kind of the turning point for this tournament, instead of just turning back around and trying to go to some other areas that I had, I decided to see if with the falling water, these fish had maybe funneled out into the slightly deeper water where the chute was feeding into the slough that I'm currently in. And it turned out to be a very, very good decision. This is why you always fish by your gut. But this is not a spot that I'm interested in. It's actually up this chute, but as you can see, it's pretty skinny. It's pretty skinny up there. But you know, this is kind of the next deep water. So if some of these fish started, you know, getting out of that shallow backwater, they might stop here. So all might not be lost. That's a fish. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a real good one. There we go. That's a quality fish right there. For here, at least. All right, guys, I got to set this up a little bit more and give you a little bit of a spoiler alert, because if you're not into watching a guy get super excited about catching fish, pretty much catching fish on every cast, and also just running out of breath, giggling like a schoolgirl, and all of that, just absolutely loving my job, you probably shouldn't watch any further, because that's exactly what's going to happen. This spot was insane. It was probably the best shallow water spot I've ever fished as far as, you know, the frequency of bites, and let alone in a tournament. I mean, just pretty much any shallow water school I've ever been on, this is probably one of the best. So the tackle I was using for this, I used that jackhammer chatterbait, the white and chartreuse 1/2 ounce jackhammer with that pearl diesel minnows trailer. I had that set up on the 17-pound test Tatsu, which is a brand new size of Tatsu. Worked perfect in this situation. Had that on. Also had the 7.3 medium heavy Versa Series rod, which is my standard chatterbait rod. And then also a VLD 10 from Fitzgerald Fishing, a 7.2 to 1 gear ratio for that. So that's a setup. Enjoy watching me have the time of my life. We're just coming out from that backwater up there. Oh, I just got another bite. There he is. That's another good one. That's even bigger. Maybe not. But he'll pull. Get over here. Maybe. He's healthy. The chatterbait's doing some work. How many fish have been caught on a white and chartreuse jackhammer chatterbait? probably quite a bit. There he is. Three casts in a row. 3 casts in a row. Can we do number 4? I think we can. Oh my gosh! Oh, bigger. I thought that was a big. I got hit multiple times. I think he's gonna help it all. We don't even have to go to our best spot. We got another giant school here. That's gonna help. That's gonna help. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, that's gonna help for sure. All right, guys. We got him going on the jackhammer. 17-pound Seagar. That new Tatsu, man. It's my 17 is my favorite new size for my chatterbaits. That's a 2-pounder. All right, number 3. Number 3, gotta go. But I'm not even sure if I'm gonna risk going up it, because I honestly don't know if I can do it. I'm seeing sand. I don't think I can. But they actually may all be right here. There he is. Oh, that's a good one. Kind of reminds me of when Edwin found that school. Oh yeah, that's another decent fish. Don't know if it'll help. Problem is I don't want to whack on them too much, but you know, we do have a day off. Is there a 3 in there? Is there a 3? Man, I know some guys like composite rods for chatterbaits, but let me tell you, oh, when they hit it like that and they're coming at you, I love this 7-3 medium heavy Versa series rod from Fitzgerald. I like a graphite rod. I just think I can catch up with the fish better. I can rip it through the grass better. Come on, baby. How many fish are there? I bet that whole lake. Oh, that feels like a good one. Oh, that's a good one. That whole lake is right here. Gosh, all same size. No, that one's a lot better. That one's a lot better. Guys in the studio, we're having fun on the Mississippi River, pool 9. We can get up to all 2 1/4s. That's pretty gold, pretty golden. That's what my weight goal was. I haven't made a cast yet without catching a fish. Like that. Another good one. Oh my gosh! A 5-pounder just went after this one. Well, maybe 4 pounds. But regardless, a big one. A big one. We've got quality here. I want to see a guy that's pumped up right now. And it's right about right here that they they start eating it. There he is. I love my job. I love my job. Oh! It's a big one. It's a good one. Oh, can you believe it? Oh man. Dude, fish in the moment. Never caught a fish on this shoot here during practice. But just up from here, where I caught all my fish, those are good fish that I'm throwing back. Those are good fish I'm throwing back. All right, girl, you're good. You get in there. All right. Tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna retie. No, we're not. 17-pound tatsu. I'm getting a workout. I'm making a fat boy sweat right now. Come on. Oh my goodness. That's another good fish. Like, I don't know. I don't know. We're almost to 12 pounds. Oh, I gotta get rid of my smallmouth? I wanted a brown fish at weigh-in. All right. If we don't start calling up by quarter pounds now, we're gonna leave these fish alone. Not that I think it hurts them by catching them right now. There are so many fish in the chute. 1, 2, 3. Come on, eat it. Uh-oh. Oh, there he was. Guys, I officially made my first cast and didn't catch fish. Might as well just go home now. Oh my gosh! That looks like a... maybe not. Thank you. Thank you. We don't even have to use the motor guide. We're just sitting down with the power poles. There he is. Just lean back. Lost him. Lean back. Oh my gosh. All right, so even though I was still catching fish, it definitely slowed down a little bit to where I wasn't catching them every single cast, and you could definitely tell that they were starting to just swat at the chatterbait. So ended up switching to the brand new Turbo Fatties, which is a swimming word for Z-Man that just came out this year that I helped design, and was able to mop up on a couple other fish. Turbo Fatties. Let's see if we can catch a big one on the Turbo Fatties. actually might help. It seems like the ceiling is just right at 2 1/4, 2 1/2. That one, again, on the turbo fatties, right here. It's just a little swimming worm, using a 3/16 ounce weight, 959 Hayabusa. Some Seagar Smackdown braid. After catching who knows how many fish in this one area, I decided that because I wasn't able to call up by, you know, a 1/4 pound at a time, I was only calling up an ounce or two every single time I was calling, and the bite was definitely slowing down. Decided to leave that area. Didn't want to beat on those fish anymore in that school. Unfortunately, I was not able to find anything else in pool 9 that I was interested in, so I decided to make the run up to pool 8, fish a frog a little bit, tried to fish some new areas, and find, you know, 1 or 2 big bites, but unfortunately that didn't work out. I only got 1 bite the entire time, fishing through some prime frog water, and so that was kind of a bummer. But I had already really met the benchmark that I was really focused on. I knew that there was 2 trains of thought, 2 strategies. You either barely make it into the knockout round, you know, finishing in the top 10 just barely, so you're not, you know, beating on any of your fish and you're not wasting any fish, so you might need in the knockout and championship rounds. Or if you get the opportunity, you get a big bite, you fish for that win. You fish to win your qualifying round, which brings you straight past the knockout round and into the championship round. So those are the 2 trains of thought. Really, right now I was on the, you know, just barely qualify for the knockout round train of thought. So you know, I wanted to be right around that 12-pound mark, which is exactly where I was. I ended up the day, I think, in 8th place. So that was in the top 10, pretty much, you know, going right to plan. And so overall, day 1 was a great success, and it was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you stay tuned. So tomorrow I'm posting the day 2 breakdown. So make sure that you watch that one too, because that one's got a big surprise in it that really changed the entire outcome of the title championship for me. So overall, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you have any comments, drop a comment below. I will see you guys out on the water on the next video.